your advisors. O2 on and prepare for ignition, 202. EPP, copy that, and initiating a full 10-4-4.
Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now, from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength, not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart. And God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread. Healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed. And we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory. We give you peace. We give you honor. We give you blessing. We give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you. The fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name. Ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty. It's yours. I decree it and I speak it. In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen. Well, good morning to you. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Yes You O Cubed. O Cubed stands for what? One-on-one, because it's just me and you. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman. I'm so glad you're here with me on this marvelous day. Y'all, it is Friday. I know somebody's ready to shout on that right there. It's Friday, June the 3rd in the year 2022. And I want to welcome you here on this morning. Now, as I say, it's another day's journey and I'm glad about it. And I'm so glad that you are here with me on this fine day. Now, let's get this party started and let's get this party crack-a-lacking. I want to apologize for our interruption on yesterday. Y'all, we were in there good. Y'all were talking good. We were going good. And then my whole internet service, yes, the whole entire internet service just went down. It just went down. It went down. And so at the end of the day, I want to appreciate Shelly Thunder for leading you all onto another location, as I did not get any service back to late in the midnight hour. It came back. But I appreciate those of you that stayed here perched and waiting. I just couldn't get back in here, y'all. I just couldn't get back in here. So at the end of the day, thank you so much for that. You say, yes, you finally just, hey, you got weekends off again. Come on here, Cassandra. I'm so happy for you. I appreciate everybody again that stayed with us during that little transition. Y'all had me cracking up about the powdered milk, and we'll get back to that a little bit later on. But nonetheless, we're back this morning. We're back live. We're strong and we're going forward. And I'm so happy to be here with you. And thank you for coming back once more and again. In your Steve Harvey voice, you got good morning going on. Okay, let me get to first things first before we go there. I want to appreciate those Lions that were in the Lions Den VIP section to make sure we had the peace, love, joy, and happiness, and a little bit of soul too, in the Lions Den this morning, waiting on the rest of us when we got here in the decent hours, because baby, these babies come in at 12 o'clock a.m. sharp. They come in at the 12 o'clock hour. So let's look at who made it in this morning, and we want to give them some pause and applause right now. I want to thank the third person that got in the Lions Den this morning was none other than Miss Fabulous, otherwise known as Mel Holiday. Thank you for getting in here bright and early this morning. Go ahead and put yourself in that love seat right over there. Come on, and I appreciate you. Yes, that's our head usher, and she's reporting for duty. Give it up for one more time. Congratulations. Now, the second person that made it into the Lions Den this morning with so much love, with so much peace, with so much joy and happiness was none other than Shelly Thunder. Thank you, Shelly. I appreciate you for getting in here. Yes, you did. You made your way in at the 12 o'clock hour. Come on, give it up. That's one of our moderators, and she got in here this morning. Yes, she did. I appreciate you. Go ahead and tell Miss Fabulous to scooch on over. Scooch on over so both of y'all can get your lips, hips, and fingertips on that love seat. But the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair is none other than BTD Mom. BTD Mom, you are the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair. Come on over here. Get your lips, get your hips, get your fingertips. Go ahead and sit down, baby. Sit down. You did it. You did it. You did it. At the 12 o'clock hour, Mother was perched. She was ready. She came on in and she did that, y'all. She did that. That's the BTD Mom, also known as Anita Harvey. I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate you. And go ahead and have a seat right on over there. Go ahead and have a seat right on over there. You deserved it this morning. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Look at those beautiful queens. They came in, they had it ready, they had it lit before we ever got here, and I appreciate them for that. Now get your moderator love, get that mod love out, because you know we stop right here and we pause for the cause to tell all of our beautiful moderators. There you see Shelly Thunder. Yeah, Shelly Thunder. She was one of those that was the first in the room. That is one of our beautiful moderators. I call her the prophetess. She was in here this morning, and I want to say thank you for all that you do, in the Lions Den. I appreciate you, my dear. Led by none other than the Rebel Inc. Yes, the Rebel Inc. We will be going to her as soon as we leave here. We'll be in the Church of Funk with her this morning. I don't know. It might be Anti-Morning Bangos. She might have
to correct me on that. Nonetheless, we're going to Rebel's house when we leave from here on this morning. And then, of course, we've got the quiet storm. We've got my girl, Michelle Brownell. Yes, that's my quiet storm because she changes the atmosphere just by being wherever she's at. Those are my three beautiful moderators. Hey, thank you for liking the stream. I appreciate that. And I give you so much appreciation for doing that. That's somebody else checking in for me, but that's all right. I love you and I appreciate you too. Now, let's get this party started. Let's get this party crack-a-lacking. But before we do, I just want to touch on a few announcements. I want to go ahead and invite you. We will be here at 12 o'clock Central Time. We will be here at 12 o'clock Central Time. Yes, with Good Grief on today. I want to invite you all to be here with us. Crazy Berrytown will be in the house. However, Kim Possible 7-Eleven will be out of pocket for the next couple of weeks. She has some things that she's got to do, funerals and whatnot. So she will not be here, but I want to invite you, please, please, please come on in here at 12 o'clock and Crazy Berrytown. She will be leading us in the Good Grief session. Thank you, Jonna Petty, for liking that stream. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much. So at the 12 o'clock hour, it's a good journey of grief. And you know, that is the place that I say it's an equalizer. Everybody at some time in your life, you're going to take that journey of grief. We just do it so you don't have to do it alone. You've got support. You've got other people there that are on the same journey loving you, or you may not have gone through the journey yet, but just want to hold space for those of us who are on the journey. We invite you 12 o'clock Central Time. Come on in here and we have Good Grief every Friday. So we'll see you today at 12 o'clock Central Time with Crazy Berrytown. And sending all kind of love and prayers, even to Kim Possible as she goes on her journey and the things that she has to do. Now, secondly, by way of announcement, I'd also like to identify that this morning we're just sending up love and prayers for Stacy. I had to think of the handle. Stacy 546. I had to think what those last numbers were. Stacy 546 in the loss of a very dear loved one on this morning. She is out today because of that loss, and we're just sending up prayers and condolences to her. I'm going to ask if you would just all kinds of love, send it her way, all kinds of energy, send it her way. She's going to need that this morning and in the days that lie ahead. So please keep her in your prayers. That's Stacy 546. You know, that's my girl. Yes, she's one of our sisters in blue, retired, but she comes in every day. And I tell you what, she's that one, even with that, if she's not going to be here, she's going to definitely tell me why she's not here. She's just that kind of love. I'll get that text. I'll get that phone call to let me know what's going on. But yes, she has lost a loved one. So we are asking for prayers in the days ahead as she journeys through the journey of grief. So as we remember her, also, Kai Chick, you haven't seen her because she got that promotion, y'all. Kai Chick got that promotion and I'm so glad for her. But at the same time, I'm so appreciative. Now, she's one of those, let me see where she put that at. She's one of those as well. If she's not going to be here, I'm going to know exactly why she's not here, because she's always checking in and she's always giving all kinds of love to everybody here in the Lion's Den. And I'm trying to remember where she put that post, but nonetheless, at the end of the day, she sends her love to everybody and wants you all to know that her heart is here. She will be watching the playbacks, and she actually sent this. I was going to read it on yesterday before the studio went down at the end of the stream, so we could send her all kinds of love and mad energy to her. But at the end of the day, where did she put that at? But she just really wanted you all to know where she was, but she is, as she's going forth in training, and that training is conflicting with this particular time. But she said all kinds of love, and she wanted to thank both myself and the Lion's Den for all of the love that we've sent her during her journey. The thing I love about Kai Chick, and she's so beautiful, she said when she came here in the Lion's Den 10 months ago, when she came to the Lion's Den, she was broken, and there were a lot of things that she was struggling struggling with. But as she gained and grew strength here in the Lion's Den, she has been transformed. And that is part of why I wanted to read it, because she was actually saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to say not only to myself, but to the other lions in the Lion's Den. That's why I want you to know, you are so critically important to what's going on, because it's not just about me, but it's about the love that everybody feels from the other lions that are here in the Lion's Den. That is that pick me up, and that I can go just a little bit further kind of scenario. I love that. I love that. I love that. And so with that, Kai Chick said, love to you. And she will be watching all of the replays on demand. So we're going to continue to send that love to her. And again, we are so happy and continuing to congratulate her on her promotion. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I mean, listen, we talking boss energy. We talking boss energy. So Kai Chick, when you play this back, love to you from all the lions in the Lion's Den. Now, let's get this party started. Let's get this party crack-a-lacking, because you know how we do it over here. You know how we do it over here. We like to just stop and take some time. And as my mother said, when you come in the room, you speak to somebody. So with that, I want to say good morning to the Rebel Inc. I want to say good morning, Psalmist 4. She's in here, y'all. I love you and thank you for coming in. She is a moderator extraordinaire. Love you so much. Jonna CPW is in the room this morning. She is another part to Yes You with Friends, and I just want to appreciate her for being in the Lion's Den this morning. Yes, I appreciate you, girl. And yes, we will have Yes You with Friends will be out here on Sunday morning. That's Jonna all the way on the bottom left-hand side. That's my girl. I see you this morning. Thank you for being in here with us today. I'm coming on down and I see Cassandra Isaiah. Yes, she's the poet laureate here in the Lion's Den. So much love coming to you. Let's roar righteously. Coming on down and I see Iris Maddie is back, y'all. Thank you so much for being back with us this morning. So much love coming to you. I love you, dear. Thank you for coming to the Lion's Den. SK8843, that's my sister. She was traveling all day yesterday, but she's home, y'all. She's back, y'all. She's back. Sophie back. Thank you for coming in the Lion's Den this morning. I hope you get rested from your travels. BTD Mom is in the room. That's my other sister, y'all. So much appreciation and love coming to you, and give Main Man all kind of love this morning too, as he recuperates at home. That's a good thing. Truck driver, that's my Mufasa and the Lion King. He's in here this morning and he's traveling. And as you travel across the highways doing what you do, sir, we just want you to have traveling mercies as you go. I'm coming on down and I'm looking and I'm booking and I'm checking out who else is in the Lion's Den. And good morning to you, Tall Pumps. Tall Pumps is pumping tall. She's in the room, and good morning to you, my sister. Den Darn is in the room. I appreciate you, sis. Come on in the Lion's Den. Make yourself comfortable. It's so good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jennifer is in the room. Good morning to you. And she always comes in waving and bringing all kinds of mad love. I just love you, sis. Thank you so much. And she's out there evangelizing, y'all. She's bringing folks to the Lion's Den. And for that, I am grateful. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you. Now, coming on down, and Simply Amazing is up in here, y'all. And Cassandra, I'm so glad you got your weekends off again. Simply Amazing is in the room, y'all. And she came in talking in her Steve Harvey voice. Good morning. She's saying good morning to everybody. And so I appreciate you. Come on. Now she done started cussing. She came in, she started off good, and then she just went straight to cussing. She just can't help herself. She just can't. Listen, she keeps my moderators busy because they have to keep allowing her words and her language and her verbiage to be allowed in the chat, because she can't keep her lips from cussing. But that's okay. I heard her grandbaby ask, since she's in 3rd grade now, can she cuss? Oh, I tell you what, when my goddaughter posted that up, I cracked. She said, I'm at whatever grade. I think it's 3rd grade. She said, since I'm in whatever grade it is now, can I cuss? And her mama said, no, what makes you think that? She said, oh, I thought the only reason why I couldn't was because of my age. That's That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. Good morning, Mel Holiday. I see you in the room. Come on in here, Miss Fabulous. So much love coming to you. We love you up in here. Come on in with your wine glasses and your goblets. And yes, she is the originator. It's anti-morning bangos this morning. The Rebel Ink just told me. It's anti-morning bangos this morning. Listen, she is. Mel Holiday is the originator of Let's Go for a Ride and Come Back Alone. Y'all know how we do it over here in the Lion's Den. Now, Rashida Renee is in the house, and so much love coming to her this morning. So much love coming to you. Thank you for all you do in the Lion's Den. And as we keep telling you, please, if you're on Facebook, we want to encourage you, go ahead and get hooked up over on YouTube, because Facebook will likely be phased out soon and very soon. They just took down the podcast, and the podcast can no longer stream. And so far, we're still able to stream on this live stream, but it's probably going to happen sooner than later. So please make that transition over to YouTube if you would. Now, or you can come to Twitch, whichever you want to do. But YouTube is probably the easiest of the two. Now, the gift, Nathan Lamont, is in the room. That's my baby. And I just need one good squall from you, baby. Just one good squall is all I need. Stay Lifted 2021 is a streamer, and my sister is up in here this morning. If you're not following Stay Lifted 2021, I want to encourage you, go out there and make that hookup right now. She will bless your whole entire life. And thank you so much for being here with us this morning. I feel just absolutely honored. Come on in here, sis. Now, coming on down, trying to see if anybody else came in the basement while I was upstairs. I'm coming down and I'm checking. I'm looking and I'm booking, and I love you so much. Okay, Jennifer, I'll look at that. Yes, the gun violence finally touched your town. I'm so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. The gun violence is everywhere. We'll get to that in just a minute, but my prayers, and we're sending, come on, you know how we do it in here. Get those praying hands in there, because listen, these people that are losing loved ones in these scenarios, it's painful. That's all I can say. It's tragic and it's painful. So Jennifer, prayers coming to you and your town. This gun violence has got to stop, and prayers, and it's, as I said on yesterday, and I don't mean that with any disrespect, but I'm tired of having prayers for people's lives being taken senselessly for gun violence. So I don't want your prayers. I want change. And yes, we do want prayers for the ones that are going through. I think you all understand the position that I'm taking here. We do want prayers for those that are experiencing this senseless gun violence and loss of life of their loved ones. But I don't want us to just keep coming back with let's pray, let's change. How about that? Let's change. So our prayers are going out to you, Jennifer. Oh man, I hate to hear that. Now, coming on down, and I'm looking, MCP 812 is in the room. That's my girl. That's Two Tams. She's here. Good morning to you, and so much love coming to you, my sister. I love you. I love you. I love you. Hugs to you this morning. Now, coming on down, I'm looking and I'm booking and I'm checking out, and I'm trying to see if there's anybody else that came in. Baby doll, he calls me. Good morning to you, and welcome to the Lion's Den. So much love coming to you, and thank you for being with us here this morning. I surely appreciate you. I absolutely positively do. It is tiring, Jennifer. It is tiring. Definitely that. Teresa Jones is back this morning, y'all. She been to Barbados, I think it was. She been to wherever. She been out of the country. It may not have been Barbados, but she's been out of the country, and she's back. And we just want you to know from the Lion's Den, we missed you, Teresa Jones, but we're glad that you're back. Hope that you had a marvelous time. I saw your guest that was eating with you. She had a big old pigeon or something. She was trying to eat the breakfast, and child, the bird was eating right there with her on the table. Nonetheless, he knew a beautiful thing when he saw it. He knew some beauty when he said, I'm going to go sit in some good company today. I'm going to sit in some good company today. And he looked down and found Teresa Jones and just sat right down. Yes, he did. Now, As we get going again, to even those of you that are not in my stream this morning, those of you that are not in the chat, rather, I want to say thank you for coming in and good morning to you as well. Baby doll, he calls me. That's what he said. That's what he told me. He chirped it to me. I picked it up on the bird phone. And he told me, he said, ooh, I saw that beautiful woman down there eating. I said, yes, I'm going to sit me right here. I'm going to sit me down and eat right here with her. And I ain't mad at him. Good taste, good taste, good taste. Now, as we get this party crack-a-lacking and get this party started, I want to again appreciate everybody that's here on today. So much love to you. And let's get started talking about what had happened was whilst we slumbered, slept and slobbered. What had happened was, oh my goodness. Yes, we still have to deal with this insanity of gun violence. And so, now the shooter yesterday, I'm gonna just, I have to correct myself and correct my comments because actually when I was talking yesterday, I didn't know who in the whole heaven and earth was out here killing up folk at the hospital. That was a black man, and I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. And at the end of the day, I saw the pictures of the man. Somebody sent some pictures, and I'm not gonna make it a racial issue. I'm gonna say at this point, it's gun violence, and we need to address it. Now, allegedly, he killed himself, and so we're gonna take that for what it is. And at the end of the day, I didn't like my surgery. And so I'm going to shoot you up. I just don't know what to say. At the end of the day, I hate to get started in that vein and in that trend, but it is what it is. But the only reason why I really am going there is because you all heard me say on yesterday, I had suspicions as to all of this, as you all were talking about whether or not one person was trying to outdo the other and so on and so forth. And babies, I'm here to tell you, when I looked and saw the brother, I said, sir. And I mean, these people are coming with they're coming with total plans. I understand this man had a whole plan out here of what he was going to do and how he was going to do it. The issue again, gun violence. Now that I got to see, they had several hours of debating the issue of gun reform. And obviously we've made it that partisan thing where the Republicans are saying one thing, and he only purchased it 3 hours beforehand, Jennifer. 3 hours beforehand. And so, at the end of the day, it's like, what are we really doing here? I don't like my surgery. I killed a surgeon and another doctor and the administrator, or I think it was in the office, and another patient. I don't care. I just come in and shoot up anybody that's in here. And at the end of the day, I just look and I'm like, it just makes no sense. So I watched Jim Jordan. I said it right the first time. Jim Jordan, same. I watched Jim Jordan as he talked, and this isn't about gun reform. This is about having our rights and the invasion of our rights and the taking away of our rights. And somebody explain it to me. How saying that an assault weapon in the hands of a civilian, an assault weapon in the hands of a civilian is your right to be able to come in and just roll off however many magazines, however many rounds in a magazine you want to shoot and just kill up everybody and leave carnage like you're on the battlefield fighting against the enemy. Tell me how you feel that is an invasion and taking away of your rights to say, no, we're not gonna have it. We shall not. No. So when the vote came down, it was strict party lines in the House, and now it's going on to the Senate. So, at the end of the day, I just feel like this is just sad. It's just really sadness to me that this is the kind of legislation and lawmakers that we have positioned after all of this carnage. And again, as Jennifer said, and Jennifer, I'm going to assume maybe you're in Iowa. There are a couple of other locations that also had shootings shootings on yesterday, but I'm going to assume that you may be in Iowa. Let me know if that's correct or not, because I could be barking up the wrong tree. But I think the one that probably got the story that got the most traction on yesterday was the shooting in Iowa. It's just sad. There was a shooting at the church. There was shooting at the funeral. There was shooting. What was the other one? Let me think of the other location. Anyway, you just get tired of reading this same story, just feeling, it's almost like you could take a template and put that template out there and just change the names of the shooter, change the names of the victims, change the name of the location, and everything else could be practically darn near the same thing, So at this point, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, and I feel like it needs to be addressed. The other one was in Wisconsin. Thank you so much. It's petty for me to want to know what was the surgery. A back surgery. It was a back surgery, Tall Pumps. Did they botch his nose? Tall Pumps, you done started already, girl. No, it wasn't his nose. It was his back. And as I understand, Tall Pumps, he kept calling the doctor and telling him he was still in excruciating pain and his back was still hurting. He had called, I believe, if I understand the story, he had called that day again to complain about his back. And as Jennifer said, 3 hours prior to, he went out and got him an assault weapon, came up in there and shoot him up. Yes, he did. So unfortunately for those that at this point, are the doctors going to be fearing for their lives if something goes on with this surgery that the person doesn't like? Am I going to wake up dead? It's insanity. Ames is where you're at. Come on. And the church is 5 minutes from you. I'm so sorry, Jennifer. God's blessing on all of those that were involved, even you. And when you know somebody's 5 minutes away from your home and there's been a mass shooting, that makes you feel some kind of way. My prayers are going out to you, sis. My prayers are definitely going out to you as well. Assault rifles should not be available to the public. And I agree with that, BTD mom. And at the end of the day, and the other thing that they're now coming up is saying they want to also raise from 18 to 21. Okay, 18, 19, 20, 21. I got to wait 3 more years to do the same dastardly thing that I would have done at 18, maybe even a little more deranged, and maybe even with a little more time to plan. Is 18 to 21, is that really going to make a difference? At the end of the day, could it be? The devil. Baby, it ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. So at the end of the day, is changing it from 18 to 21 going to help any at all? No, that is not, the age is not the issue. The weapons are the issue. So at the end of the day, we just keep dancing around and playing games instead of really dealing with the core of the issue, which is the guns. We need to deal with the guns. So it was a young adult at a church gathering. So they were young college students. Oh, man. I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that for anybody. But, when I look and young lives just getting started, young lives, just college students out here trying to prepare themselves for their journey in life. And before they can even get started, you start coming on. It's so sad. Any way you look at it, it's just tragic. And so at this point, I just don't feel that our lawmakers, they're tone deaf. They're tone deaf right now. And this whole partisan thing of one party against the other and making it a partisan issue. This is not a partisan issue. And at the end of the day, get this money, get this dark money, get this lobbyist money out of your pockets so that we can have some fairness in this country. We can have some justice and liberty and justice for all. That's what we say. But listen, this that's loose right now needs to be addressed. So we're just going to keep on fighting. We're going to keep on speaking on it. So that's the whole other side, because maybe they don't want to give opioids. He wanted more. I hear you guys talking about this shooter and the pain. How many of our shooters are between 18 and 21? Seems like there's plenty older than 21 doing it too. And you're exactly right. The age range is not the issue. So we just keep playing this game. He continued to let the doctor, he was in pain, to let the doctor know he was in pain. This is sad, but it also shows the lack of concern for people of color. Stop ignoring us. Come on, Nathan, I hear you talking. And I do recognize that a lot of times black people's pain is ignored even by the medical profession. That is a true. Now, black people's overall, you can go in and say, this is what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. This is what's going on. That's what's going on, and be completely ignored by the medical profession. And that is true. I've had that experience personally. So I had that experience with my mother before she passed away. And you're telling the medical professional something and they're just acting like they turn a deaf ear and don't hear a word that's coming out of your mouth. However, in no way, shape, or form are we advocating this type of behavior. I'm just going to go get me a gun and kill up some folk. No, ma'am. No, sir. That is not the answer. So, yes, but we do need quality health care, and we do need to be heard and listened to and paid attention to when we go to the doctor. That is a true and valid point for people of color, especially black people. So at the end of the day, so many of these things are overlapping. So many of these things are just intersecting one with the other because it's all of this craziness that's going on and people are sick and tired of it. They're just plain and simply tired of it. And of course, as long as they're not going to regulate the guns, that seems to be the answer and the go-to for American people. Get you a gun and shoot somebody down. Yes, Jennifer, we're exhausted. Everybody's exhausted. And at the end of the day, this is why I continue to talk about boss energy, because I'm not that one that's looking for the change to come from the system. The system is always reactionary, in my opinion. The system reacts to people that finally decide they've had enough and do something different. So that's my personal opinion. It reacts to what they see when the people finally have had enough. And the people finally say, forget you, we're going to do it ourselves. Then the system reacts and says, oh, by the way, we agree with y'all. Oh, by the way, we're going to change. Oh, by the way, let's put this law in and enforce this law. To me, that's the system's response the whole time. They're not the leaders, even though we vote them in as our governmental leaders, even as we vote them in, as we say, as representatives of us, which they show us repeatedly. They're not representing us, because if the majority of the citizens of America want gun control and you have this small handful of legislators that we voted in who say, no, we don't want it because the lobbyists, we're in their pockets and we're going to vote for the lobbyists. We're going to vote for the corporations. They're obviously not representing us. So I want you to understand, leadership is really not leadership in more instances than not. Leadership is really the followers, and we need to stand up and as the people start leading this country where we want it to go, because the leadership that's voted in surely is not going to do it. So at the end of the day, they'll be reactionary after we stand up and do and say what it is we want and how we want it. They'll be reactionary when enough of us come together and make it known. Now, the disparity in black communities for physical health and mental health is still here. It's another one of those things folks talk about, but we do nothing about. And I agree with you, Tall Pumps. And that's why I'm saying we got to turn that thing around, as my reboot baby say, turn that thing around. And so we've got to make a difference. And again, I'm gonna say it once more and again, and this may sound like I'm in some state of anarchy, but I'm really not. I'm just speaking the truth. Our leaders are not our leaders. Our leaders are our followers. They react to what we stand up and say we want. I want you to hear me when I say this, and I'm talking real boss energy. They actually react to what we say and show that we want. And when we say we've had enough, then they'll follow suit after we show that we've had enough. But if you're looking for leadership and you're looking for things to change first there, stop playing with yourself. There's a little bit of a naivete that is going on in your head, in your mind, in your thoughts. If you think the leaders are the ones that are setting the pace, they're always running and coming behind. So that's where we got to get an awareness and understand the power of our boss energy and go ahead and start making the moves. We got moves like Jagger. We need to go ahead and start making those moves so that the leadership that we call government can catch up and run behind us and make the changes that we need. Yes, it's reactionary for sure, because they taught us that self-care is also reactionary rather than utilizing self-care before things get bad. Come on here, Jennifer. And you're talking in here. You're really talking. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for listening and lurking. Simply amazing. I appreciate you. They are monitoring the situation, not changing it. And that's exactly right, Jennifer. Just like the young, was she 13 years old that I showed that clip on yesterday that went to the meeting. We used to sing the song, Something Got a Hold of Me. I went to the meeting one night and my heart just wasn't right. Something got a hold of me. Something got a hold of that 13-year-old. And she said, listen, I'm going to tell you like a T-I-Z-T-S. I'm going to give you this. Listen, I've been to the Lion's Den. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because we tells it like a T-I-Z-T-S. That sister had been to the Lion's Den and she went to that council meeting and she told it like a T-I-Z-T-S. And listen, she said, y'all talking about, yes, there's a problem, but you can't change it. When, as she said, I'm in an IAP program where they tell us you have the ability to change it. You're smart enough. You have enough intelligence. Are you not smart? Are you not intelligent? I mean, that sister called them for filth. I mean, she read them, baby. She read them the riot act. And we need more people just like that young 13-year-old to stand up to these leaders and tell them, are you not intelligent? Are you not smart? You going to tell me in school in my IAP program that I'm smart enough to change something and make a difference, but you have a problem that you've seen and known all these years and you can't come up with a solution? Baby, she read them for filth, but she told the truth. And this is what I'm saying we've got to do and stop the monitoring of the situation, and we need it to be changed. So this is where we are in all of these different elements and aspects of what we're addressing. And we've got to MCP 812. We got to basically stand up and say, no, we're sick of this. We're not going to continue in this trend. And that's going to have to come from us, the people, not from government, and let government play catch up. And when I say that, we're not talking about violence. We're not talking about hurting people. We're talking about moving in boss energy and love. We're talking about standing up and starting to change how we operate, how we maneuver, the things that we'll take, the things that we won't take. And listen, and at this point and at this stage, there's a whole lot of things that the government, in their lack of monitoring or lack of what I want to say, in the words of Jennifer, they're monitoring but not changing. In that trend, we really need to stand up and say, okay, let's call a spade and let's do what we need to do for ourselves. Because at this point, the government is showing us, obviously, they don't care. They do not care. So, we're going to have to do what we need to do and tell the government, you shall not pass. And when I say that you shall not pass, please vote these people out. Please, please, please vote these people out. Vote them out. Please vote. Now, I understand they've done a plenty good amount of gerrymandering. They've restructured districts and everything else. But at the end of the day, I still need us to come out as strongly as we can in full force. And let's deal with this and say, no, this is not going to work. As your cousin friends would say, Tall pumps is pumping tall in here this morning. I hear you, sis. I hear you. Vote them out, Rebel. That's all I'm saying. Vote these people out. Why are they still here? Now, that's not to bring in term limits, which we definitely need. But why are they still here when they're talking and acting crazy? Vote these people out. I'm sick of looking at, I don't want to see Jim Jordan another term. I don't want to see Jim Jones. I'm tired of Jim Jones. I want another person in that seat. So, but again, when you've got the money and the dark money that's coming from these lobbyists and these organizations, stay lifted. When you've got these organizations that are pouring all kinds of money into these campaigns, at the end of the day, And, you know, unless they're out here actually giving people money, which is illegal. But, you know, at this juncture, who knows what all's going on. But and I don't care how many ads they run on TV. I don't care how they do this, that, and the other. And that money that goes in to give them all the signage that they need in 5,000 yards, because, you know, a lot of times it's just a matter of, you don't know, some of y'all, and I want you to pay attention to how you're voting. You don't know how a person is or what they believe in. You just saw their name in 10,000 yards. You saw that yard sign that had their name on it. And when you got in there to vote, you just checked on the name that you knew because there was another name that you didn't know. And so it's like, well, I don't know nothing about them. Well, you don't know anything about the one that's got 10,000 signs and 10,000 yards either. You just saw their name repeatedly over and over and over. I want y'all to stop voting like that. Understand what these people stand for before you elect them and put them in the office. Go to some of their town hall meetings and ask them some hard questions. Where do you stand on this and where do you stand on that? Listen, I'm trying to tell you because even I was called in to a private meeting that only a select handful of people were pulled in. And because of my activities here in my city, both on the clergy and in other areas, I was pulled in. And at the end of the day, I asked the man who wanted to run for, he hasn't made it known even still, that he wants to be the police chief here in the city. And when I asked him about qualified immunity, well, you know, I said, no, that's a yes or no. Do you believe that if you are put in the police chief position, will you be active in ending qualified immunity? And after all of that, and he was a black man. Okay. So let me just make that clear. A black man. And so at the end of the day, they're going to put this black face in here so that black people just go out there. Oh, there's a black man running and start checking his name. But at the end of the day, I've already decided if I see his name on the list, I shall not be voting for him. Unless there is, well, let me correct that. If they bring me a candidate that is qualified and understands the need to stop qualified immunity. And I don't care if it's a white, Asian, whoever, I don't care what the ethnicity, if they understand the need to stop qualified immunity for these police officers to keep hiding behind when they kill us. If somebody says, yes, this needs to stop. Yes, we need to reform and change how we've structured this policing system that we currently have. Yes, we need to change how we deal with brown and black. If somebody comes, I don't care what color they are, you can put that black man up there all day long. I'm not going to vote for him because he already, when I asked him point blank blunt and he started him-hawing and stumbling over his words and trying to this and that and the other. No, sir, I need a yes or no answer. Well, I believe in qualified immunity. I won't stop it. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Why would I vote you in to continue being a part of the problem that we have in here? So no, sir. No, sir. I don't care about how black your skin is. I don't care how good you talk. I don't care how many clergy you bring in here and say, vote for me and get your parishioners to vote for me. I shall not vote for you. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So this is where we've got to get up close and personal with some of these people and find out what they believe before we put their lips, hips, and fingertips in these offices. Because listen, just because they're black doesn't mean that they're going to try to fix the problem. Some of us are looking as black folks. Let me throw my hat in the political arena because that's how you can start poor and come out rich. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That's how you can start poor and come out rich. And there's some folk that have no intention of really making a change. They looking at, listen, you know what they looking for. They go in the door looking for one thing. That's why I'm here. Vote for me. You see me and I want change. But baby, all they want is money. So this is where we've got to start challenging the people that we're putting in these offices and identify if they're not really here for some real change. No, ma'am, no, sir. We're not going to vote you in the office. So we got to start asking questions. Come on, Jennifer. You said it wasn't until last year we were able to vote out Steve King, who had a whole Confederate flag sitting on his desk. Not a whole Confederate flag. Did not That's a shameful God. That's a crazy Berrytown is in the room, y'all. I want y'all to follow her. She will bless your whole entire life. That's my girl. That's my beautiful one. Come on in here this morning. So glad to have you. And I'm so glad y'all voted him out, Jennifer. I'm glad you are. And that's what we need to do. Don't just assume. And again, this stream is diverse. So we've got everybody, all ethnicities and LGBTQ and everybody in this group. And I love it. I love it. I love it because diversity is what makes this world rock and roll. I'm so glad that we understand just because a person's skin is white does not mean they do not understand and fight for the cause for everybody. So, and when I say that, I'm talking about black people. I'm not just talking about all lives matter. That's not what I'm getting ready to jump into that bandwagon. But I'm saying people that really understand, especially for those of black and brown, the plight and the condition that we're in this country. And yes, to have a whole Confederate flag perched up on your desk, bold and in living color to let us know exactly where you stand. Vote them out. Vote them out, y'all. Vote them out. Vote them out. And so thank you so much, Jennifer, and everybody else that comes in, because this is the way we're going to do it. When I said, again, if we're talking about 1%, if we're talking about minority rule, even as it deals with our government and our legislators, if we're talking about just minority rule and a small handful, if the other 99 would ever come together and unite, there's no way that 1% can stand against them. It's just the fact that we can keep folks divided on whatever line. We can keep folks divided. And that's what makes us ineffective against the 1%. So this is where I say this is for everybody. This is not it. This is for everybody to identify. We can do work together. And even as I like to say so frequently, we can walk hand in hand without seeing eye to eye. We can still walk hand in hand without seeing eye to eye, as long as we make it work and come together and unite. And let's say, okay, what are we going to stand for here? What are we going to stand for there? And then do it. So your question is, how long is Nancy Pelosi going to be speaker? She needs to sit down. Listen, Nancy Pelosi, Clyburn, I want to say, don't just get on Nancy. These 80-something-year-old people. Now, I'm not trying to move into a place of ageism, but what I'm saying, your lips, your hips, and your fingertips been here, and your liver quivers. That's just how aged and rocky you are. And I don't know about your mind. At the end of the day, I'm like, we've got people, and that's why I'm going to go back to the whole possibility of changing term limits. People that get their hips in those chairs and they don't come out until they're at the graveyard. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't want to see you for the next 30 years. I don't want to see you for the next 40 years. I don't want to see you that long. So at the end of the day, whether we talk about Nancy, and she's not the only one in there in her 80s and 90s, pretty near. Why are these people in here all of this time and we don't have any young, youthful blood up in the mix? We need some young folks. And so, listen, I'm saying to them, if you are really conscientious about what you're doing, I need you to start mentoring some young folk to take your place and sit down. Yes, I said it, Tall Pumps. We need these old, withered up people. Joydo, come on in here. So good to see you. We need these young, these old, withered up people to start taking some young people under their wing and begin to mentor them so that you can take my place and then get up and get out. Go someplace and sit down. Now, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to see 80 and 90-year-old people sitting up here perched. And I feel the same way about the Supreme Court. These people can listen. And yes, you may be a legal beagle and a great mind of the century. Give somebody else a chance. I don't want to see you for your whole lifetime. I don't. Now, y'all can sit there and say, well, we want the experience. If they know I have X amount of time and I need to actually begin to train somebody to take my place and mentor somebody so that they can know what and how to operate in this position, get these folks out of here. So come on. Thank you for saving space on the pew. Stay lifted. Come on, Crazy Berrytown. You got some folk ready to sit with you this morning. So at the end of the day, this is where we look and we say, I am looking at term limits for all. Thank you for those roaring biddies, MCP 812. I appreciate you, sis. That's where I say, I want us to get an idea. What is the world that we want to see? And we need to go ahead. I see you, Teresa. We need term limits. We do in all of these places. It's no reason why you should get on the Supreme Court and just because I got this appointment, it's a lifetime and I'm here forever. No, ma'am. No, sir. You get your time opportunity and then get your lips, hips and fingertips and get up out that chair. That's the way I feel about it. So at the end of the day, I see you, Iris Maddie. You're working and lurking. I appreciate you. So much love coming to you. I just appreciate you being in the space. So a good chunk of them are over 80. Pelosi, Clyburn, fine. And I'm not trying to be Mad Hoyer. I think we should vote in the affirmative. My vote is yay. Get these folk out of here. I want some people that are vibrant, young, able to, and there's a day that we just need you to be good counsel. There's a day that we need you to be good support from the side. Get up and get out. I'm not trying to look at y'all up here with your liver quivering. I need some folk that have some vitality, some vim, and some youthfulness. That's what I want. That can make a change for what we're doing. So, I'm just not that one. They need to service terms like the president. Serve terms like that. I got you. I hear you, truck driver. And so this is why I'm like, listen, I'm like, pass the baton. That's all I'm saying, tall pumps. Pass the baton. Do your time of service and get your lips, hips, and fingertips up and get out. Have all the seats. Go somewhere. Choose your seat and sit down. That's what I want you to do. Choose your seat and sit down. But I'm going to tell you what the issue is. They want to work forever. Tall pumps, it's not about the work. It's about the power. And I'm going to say that again. It's not about the work. It's about the power. They want that power. I just looked at on yesterday. I watched I don't know if I was on Netflix or wherever, but anyway, they were talking about that they had two mayors in Baltimore, two female black mayors in Baltimore that, listen, one went to jail, and the one that went to jail, she was replaced eventually by another woman that, honey, she had all kind of hook and crook going on. What was it? It wasn't about the job, because some of the workers said, we didn't even see her. The woman didn't even come to work. The woman didn't even come to work. But the woman was out. But what was she after? She wanted that power. So tall pumps, it's not about them wanting to work forever. They just want that power. It ain't about the money. It is not about the money. And just like you said, they don't need the money. The money is not the issue. The issue is that power and the ability to control. That's what they're after. So, this is something that we need to really, really pay attention to. And if that's why you're here, goodbye. Goodbye. Have all the seats. If you're just here for the power, if you're here for the control, goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. So that's how I feel about that. We need young minds, baby doll, he calls me. The old guard needs to retire. Have all the seats. You see, I left her up there. Have all the seats, baby doll, he calls me. So at the end of the day, we need less law majors and more blue collar workers in government. Come on in here, Connie Veens. I appreciate you, Connie Veens, for being here with us in the Lions Den. Good morning to you. Come on in here. Appreciate you so very much, and you're welcome here in the Lion's Den. So listen, don't send me to the corner. Y'all know I'm telling you, know how we do it in the Lion's Den. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black, cause I tells it like it Tiz. Don't send me to the corner when you know I'm telling the truth. These old folk need to sit down and retire. We need to get them out. So at the end of the day, we got to go to work, y'all. We got to go to work, honey, in the wavy voice. The old guard hard needs to be mentors now. And see, this is the thing. I'm going to tell you even about myself. You know, I started in ministry very young. I started really evangelizing and my call to ministry at 15. And then I actually started pastoring at 27. And I've been here for a minute because I'm near about 60. And understand, I've seen a lot of things in these years. I've seen a lot of things in this time window. I've seen even the patriarchy that's still existent in this country. I've seen the patriarchy that's still existent even with black people and black men especially. I've seen the patriarchy and the misogyny. I've endured, worked through all of that. But this is what I'm saying. At nearly 60, I understand this is a time for me I'm still working. Yes, I'm still doing the work. I'm still doing the call. But at the same time, I also understand all along the way, we've been training and mentoring and coming in and saying, okay, these are the things that you're going to look at. This is how you do it. This is what you pay attention to. For those that come behind, because God forbid, when I close my eyes, there's nobody here to carry on the work. You got to train somebody. So there comes a point in time when you start understanding that shift. Listen, my vim, my vitality, and my vigor is not like it was at 27. It's not like it was at 37. It's not like it was at 47. And it's not like it was at 57. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? The reality is, I understand you got to have some people that you begin to say, now, how can I mentor them? How can I serve to share the knowledge, the experience, what I've been through? Give them some shortcuts, give them some information, give them the 411 connect so that they can get to the quick, and bam, there it is. And let them come forth with young energy, with young minds, with young ideas, with young ways of approaching the thing. Listen, I listen to the young folk. My manager is younger than me. My manager is my nephew. My manager is my nephew who, yes, I changed his diapers, but at the end of the day, he is in a Fortune 100 situation where he's got experiences to money, to people, to resources, to processes, to ideas. I sit at his feet and learn. Y'all ain't ready for me. I sit at his feet and learn. I call him and ask him questions. I call him and let him tell me this or that or the other, or run something past him and then pay attention when he says, Aunt Jean, I think what you need to do is XYZ. I pay attention because these young people bring something to the table that we did not have. And y'all don't have to like me, but I'm telling what God loves, and that's the truth. And so the same way I experienced that in my life, I guarantee it's the same thing in government. Some of these old timers, 80 and 90 years old, listen, they don't know, understand, or have the ability to completely comprehend some of the new ways and new flavors. Folk need to move over and let these young folks go forth. Come on, Rel is my hide. Rel is my hide. Come on in here. Good to have you this morning. Good to have you. I appreciate you for coming in here. Go Ratty. That's my guy. He's back in here this morning. I'm so glad to see you, sir. Come on in here. I love you. I love you. I love you. You almost 60 and you ready to sit down. That's it, truck driver. We ready to sit down. And sit down does not mean that I do nothing. Sit down is a matter of pass that knowledge on to the young folk coming behind and let them do their thing. Pass it on listen, pass the baton and then pay it forward. Pass the baton and pay it forward. I'm going to say it once more and again for the people in the back. Pass the baton and pay it forward. The folks that refuse to move their lips, hips, and fingertips and let somebody else have an opportunity, it's selfish, it's greedy, it's a hunger for power and control. And listen, they must increase, we must decrease. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Just like when John the Baptist saw, listen, he must increase, but I must decrease. There comes a point where you understand, and I'm not saying mission accomplished like I don't still have more to do. Baby, the best is yet yet to come. You ain't seen me get busy like I'm about to get busy right now, but I understand it comes from a different directive. It comes from a different position. It comes from empowering these young people to go forward. That's why we have a reboot with the millennials, because I'm positioning young folks in their 20 something to be able to take the helm, to take the realm, to take the reins and move this thing forward, to talk intelligibly, to be able to understand what the issues are and talk about those issues, not bury your head in the sand, and talk about it the way that they want to talk about it, not from my verbiage, not from what's acceptable to me, but talk about it from the perspective of 20 somethings and talk this thing through and do something different. Baby, that's the time that my life is in right now, and it takes nothing away from me to let these young people go ahead and shine. If I can help them shine brighter, I'm going to help them shine brighter. Am I talking to anybody? Come on in here, baby doll, he calls me. If I can help them to shine brighter, I'm going to help them shine brighter. It takes nothing away from me. Child, I'm ready to travel. I'm ready to sit down and have some fun. Come on, MCPA 12. I'm ready to go to MCPA 12, throw my fishing line in the water, catch some fish, chill. I'm ready to come off of that daily grind that requires me to do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G every single day and make sure that, baby, I'm ready for something different. Yes, I am. And I'm not talking about over busyness and that. No, I'm talking about when you're in a certain position at certain times, there's certain things you have to do. I'm ready to retire from that. You understand what I'm saying? And when people are in a position of power and they won't release that to somebody young coming behind them, that's just greediness and ego and an idea of this power that you have in this position. You don't want to let it go. And if that's all your identity is attached to, is that power, then you've done a poor job, in my opinion, with your life. If that's all you have is that power that you clinging to with your fingernails, clinging to that power, you've done a poor job of living your life. And if you're looking and saying, but I don't have no friends and I don't have this and I don't have that, you didn't build relationships while you were coming. So now that you're old, you ain't got no relationships. Am I talking to anybody? But I have relationships and I have people that I want to go spend some time and enjoy and do this, that, and the other, because I've been building all along the road. You have to understand that career is just like raising children. If you get to that empty nest syndrome and you sitting there looking at the four walls, it's because while you were raising those children, you lost yourself. Oh, I said something right there. It's because while you were raising those children, you lost yourself. So when you are constantly in that employment situation, in that career situation, if you're still in this position now where you're at a phase where it's time to have the seats, it's time for you to sit down, it's time for you to pass the baton, it's time for you now to go ahead and pay it forward, and you're regretting that because if you take this away from me, I have nothing. That says to me, just like empty nest syndrome, where you've not given yourself any time when you were raising the children, in the job and in the career, you've not given yourself any time. And so now you're scared to let that go because you ain't got nothing else. And I'm going to say it again. If that's all you got left to hold on to, then I'm just mighty afraid that in your time of career, in your time of rearing your children, whatever the case may be, you did not build for yourself. This is the thing, and I'm going to say this and I'm out of here. The iteration, you got to think forward. What do you want when you get to be 59? What do you want when you get to be 69? What do you want when you get to be 79? What do you want when you get to be 89? And you got to build now for what you want in that future. Don't just think you're going to get to 89 and then poof, there it is. If you didn't build it for yourself, you're going to be sitting there looking at them four walls feeling mighty sad. I said what I said. So, you know, and even in going back to where this whole conversation started, this is my position and this is my idea. When you start talking about these 80 and 90-year-old folk that will not release these seats in government because they have not listen, that power is all they have. And they just won't let it go. because you ain't built nothing else in your life. And as you said, Tall Pumps, she doesn't need that money. She does not need that money, but she needs that power. There it is right there. She needs that power. And that's sad. That's it, because she obviously ain't got nothing else. She needs that power. Tall Pumps, folks that retire and go back to work because they ain't got nothing to do. Well, listen, I don't have a problem with that. I have a friend that has done that, and she's just that kind of person. She's not doing it because she has to. She enjoys people. So I get that. It depends on why you're going back for me, Tall Pumps. But at the end of the day, but I did say to her, I said, girl, this is time for us to do some traveling, some other stuff, and this and that and the other, and so, but at the end of the day, I do understand some people that's just the way they're wired. They enjoy being around people like that. But I'm talking about, but not in the position of a full time, like I'm out here hitting the bricks. And no, she ain't doing that. And even a matter of, I just want even a museum where I can just let people come in. It's not even for pay or this or that and the other. I'm just doing something with my time. I'm enjoying it. This little chump change. And yes, there's some chump change that's coming in, but not, it ain't helping nothing. Maybe pay some gas to get there and back home. Other than that, it's just a matter of seeing the people come in and enjoy the beauty. So it depends on what they're doing it for. You want peace and happiness, Rella. I see you. And so do I. Brown Eye 777 is in the room. Come on in here, sis. So much love to you. Woman Unsilenced is here, y'all. She is a streamer. And if you're not following her, I really want you to follow her. She has some very informative and wholesome streams, y'all. People are asleep on Woman Unsilenced. I'm gonna just say it. People are asleep on Woman Unsilenced. She's bringing something to Twitch that I wish everybody would tap into. So much love coming to you. If you're not following her, please leave right now. Go and click that follow and click the bell for the notifications so you can be notified when she comes on, and follow her. I believe you have something coming on tonight. Her Tall Pumps is her mod. Either one of y'all put something in there and let me know when that next stream is, and we want to encourage people to get in there and support that, because she has some of the best interviews that I've seen on Twitch. So I want y'all to get in there and support her. Baby doll, he calls me. You're retiring in 5 years and you're building on your next journey. That's it. The journey doesn't stop. Build for the next journey. And then even as you're there, just keep building for the next journey. That's what I'm talking about, baby doll, he calls me. That's what because listen, just sitting down and rusting out and joints getting stiff. And no, I'm not getting ready to do that. I'm going to keep going. Listen, as my aunt, who is 95, my aunt is 95. She looks like me, size wise. People talk about how old she's really my aunt by marriage, but a lot of people don't know that. Oh, y'all look alike. I just crack up because, she's my aunt by marriage. She's not. But they talk about how much we look alike. Baby, she walks and gets around just as good as I do. She's in Alaska right now enjoying her family. She travels. She does it. I'm not. And she used to say, listen, I'm not going to catch a cold. Cold's going to have to catch me because I'm not going to stand here and wait for it to get me. I love it. Hey, Lou said, I'm not going to catch a cold. A cold will have to catch me because I'm not going to just stand here and let it get me. That's the mindset I want y'all to have. I'm not going to catch a cold. A cold's going to have to catch me because I'm not just going to stand here and let it. And that's the thing. I want y'all to have that same idea and mentality about life. I'm not just going to catch death and stiffness and ain't no purpose in my life. No, because I'm going to get out here and, as baby doll, he calls me, said, build for your next journey. Build now for your next journey, because I plan to live. I got places to go, people to see, things to do. I don't care about my age. At the end of the day, yes, I understand positioning and pulling these young people to fill in where my footprints were. It's now their time to make their own, not my footprints. It's their time to make their own footprints the way that they want to make it. But at the end of the day, listen, I got places to go, things to do, and people to see. You better ask somebody. I'm not going to just sit down and get stiff and can't do nothing, go nowhere. So understand, listen, I'm getting my body ready. Z Lady C, come on in here. I love you and good morning to you. Happy Fry. Fry, come on in here. I appreciate you. So glad that you're here. So I I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. Come on, truck driver. You're building your future for your traveling and sipping on your crown plus hanging with my grandkids. Come on in here, truck driver. Come on in here, Mufasa. Get yourself together and let's do this. So at the end of the day, these are the kinds of things I want us to look at. But all of this revolved from my, again, we need term limits. And I really believe that. Woman Unsilenced. I'm going to go ahead and read that. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. On this Tuesday, they'll be having breast cancer prevention. Please, please, please. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. That's Woman Unsilenced. Y'all go out there and follow her because she will bless you. And I appreciate you. Wellness at 7:30. Thank you. 6:30 Central Time. Okay, so she gave me an Eastern time. So thank you for that. So for those of us that are in the Central Time zone, know that whatever you see there, it's going to be 1 hour earlier. So 6:30 for us. Now, that's what I'm talking about. But these are the things I want you all to really pay attention because it's time for a difference. Now, here I'm going to go ahead and shift gears. Now, I do want to say this was, and this is really where I started to open, but Jennifer had brought up the fact that her town had now been directly impacted with the gun violence, with the shooting in Iowa. So I wanted to, that's okay, Go Ratty. I love you, man. Work and lurk. I got you. I want to talk about reparations. Now, y'all ain't ready for me, but this one I want to talk about because this is something that happened. And I'm going to play this clip for you. And this is part of why we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. But when I saw what all was entailed in it, I said, I'm going to take some time and we're going to talk about this morning in the Lion's Den. So here we go. I was sent this video and let me get back to slumbered, slept, and slobbered. I was sent this video. Listen, Tall Pumps, I know, cut the check. I already got you, sis. Cut the check. So this was sent. Let me come on back. I'm not ready for your run just yet. I want y'all to, this is the new press secretary. So there's a lot of heat out here in the black community right now. There's a lot of heat after this event happened. So I wanted to put this out here. And by the way, LeBron James is now officially a billionaire. It was reported to me. I ain't mad at the brother. I'm not mad at the brother. He is officially a billionaire. Come through. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to just throw that out there. I'm not going to have that as a topic today because I know I've talked a little bit long on this other topic, but that's okay. It's Fresh Start Friday. And while we're talking about fresh starts, that's what I'm about. I'm definitely about fresh starts. So looky here. This is what I want us to identify. And I'm gonna let y'all, I'm gonna try, that's not where I'm trying to go. I'm gonna try not to, there we go. I'm gonna try, I know, yay LeBron, get your pay, get your paper. This has left John Studios. Nibbles and Bits is in the room. Good morning to you. So glad to see you on this fine day. Come on in here and sit down and we gonna get you together. Big up to LBJ. I'm telling you, I'm gonna give it to him again. Now, let me give you a little bit of what's going on here. Because at the end, John Studios is a streamer. I'm so sorry I missed that. And I've been missing that for some time. Come on in. If you're not following John Studios, please go right now, because I don't want you to forget. Click on his name. Go out there and click follow and then come back and let's finish talking. Now, this created a little bit of heat because I'm going to say just point blank, black people, we've got to deal with this issue of when we see a black face presented to us that they're going to say what black folk want to hear. Okay. A position of black folks. Now, remember, she is the press secretary for President Biden. So yes, I see you, Cassandra. He's a millionaire. Well, okay, Tall Pumps. We're gonna deal with this, and I'm gonna say, because remember, she's speaking for the president. I'm not trying to make excuses or anything. I'm just trying to lay some groundwork here, because the black community this morning, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, yesterday the black folk was hot. I already read, I said nibbles, Royal Confessions. Good morning to you. That's my iron sharpens iron. She ain't right. She done come in here cutting up already. Anyway, this is the press secretary. Let me just shut up and play the clip, and then we'll get it going. Because, oh man, some of these comments that the black folk made, oh my God, today. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say. Look at the facial expressions and then go from there. But that's what so many people are put off about, and I may play it more than once. Here we go.
I don't think I've called on you in a while. Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Bree. Question for you about this report out of California on reparations. I was wondering if the president has seen it and if he would use it to guide any sort of executive action, since I think the last thing he did on reparations was say that he supported the study that Congress is potentially wanting to.
So his stance on reparations and supporting the study hasn't changed. I have not seen the California report, but his personal, his stance, policy stance has not changed on reparations.
Okay, let me see if I can play it once more and again in case you didn't get it. So again, pay attention to the body language that has so many people upset. Now, I'm not even going to tell you my takeaway because I really want y'all to talk to me in the chat. I want you all to tell me if you see anything about her body language in response to reparations and this question. So here we go. I'm going to play it once more again, and then y'all tell me in the chat what your takeaway is.
I don't think I've called on you in a while. Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Bree. Question for you about this report out of California on reparations. I was wondering if the president has seen it and if he would use it to guide any sort of executive action, since I think the last thing he did on reparations was say that he supported the study that Congress is potentially wanting to.
So his stance on reparations and supporting the study hasn't changed. I have not seen the California report, but his personal, his stance, policy stance has not changed on reparations.
Okay, so people went somewhere, and you may have, with the eye roll, the taken by surprise, the jump back, the reaction, because this is the point a lot of people are saying. You got questions that come. You don't see anything. I got you, Go Ready. So, you know, she takes and fields questions. Why did this question seem to have such a response as she did? They're really going to the eye rolling, the jump back of the body, and then the kind of beat around the bush response to the question. I'm gonna play it once more and again, and then thank you, Go Ready, for putting that in there. So
I don't think I've called on you in a while. Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Bree. Question for you about this report out of California on reparations. I was wondering if the president has seen it and if he would use it to guide any sort of executive action, since I think the last thing he did on reparations was say that he supported the study that Congress is potentially wanting to.
So his stance on reparations and supporting the study hasn't changed. I have not seen the California report, but his personal, his stance, policy stance has not changed on reparations.
Okay, so that has unleashed. Good morning, Michelle Browno. Come on back in here, and I'm so glad to see you. That's my quiet storm. I love this baby. I saw you had to come back in. So listen, I'm gonna come up and catch what you. Go Ratty said he didn't see anything, so he's cool with the clip. And I'm not doing this to put anybody on, and then I'm gonna come with claws, and I'm just trying to get the response from you all to see what your takeaway. What your takeaway was. Go Ratty said, I didn't see anything. Truck driver said, she looked like, here we go again. Okay, I got that. Rebel gave me a okay. Z Lady C said, I saw the eye roll. Baby doll, he calls me, who asked the question? And I'm not sure who did. It didn't state. Crazy Berrytown said, her body language and facial expression said to me, darn, I just started this job 2 weeks and I don't really have a good answer right now. Okay, I got you on that. Let me read that in its entirety without me laughing in the middle of it so you can get it. Crazy Berrytown, her body language and facial expression said to me, darn, I just started this job 2 weeks ago and I don't really have a good answer right now. I got you there. And now Simply Amazing said, that's exactly what you thought too. Speaking to Truck Driver, and Truck Driver said she looked like, here we go again. So we got two on the here we go again. Tall Pumps is asking, and what is his policy? Which she did not answer that question any way, shape, or form. Woman Unsilenced said she was definitely surprised, kind of unexpected, however. Not sure if I got anything negative from it. Thank you so much for that. Go Ratty said, we're quick to attack a black woman quickly 2 weeks in a high profile job. I hear you. Z Lady C says, and thank you for that, Go Ratty. Z Lady C looks like she was taken off guard. Okay, I got you. Cassandra Isaiah, did she turn colors to answer the question? Okay, I hear you, sis. I hear you. Jonna CPW, would this have been asked of the previous press set? Oh, come on, Jonna. Now, I will say this. This is something that is currently going on, and I'll hold that for just a second because I want to read any more comments that are in here. Would this have been asked of the previous press secretary? Bearded Baritone is a streamer and he's in here, y'all. If you're not following my brother, please follow him right now, and he will bless your whole life. Go Ratty said, bingo to Jonas. Would this have been asked of the other one, the other press secretary? Nathan the Gift, haven't asked you a question in a while, and then that's the question. She's human. Okay, got you. She also picked out the reporter and asked her. Got you. So it's the follow-up that matters now. Got you there. Teresa said she was caught off guard but was not really surprised. Got you. Got you. Got you. Okay, so I'm looking Simply Amazing. That's the question. Why didn't they ask Jen Psaki that question? This wasn't their first time in the press room. Now, I'm going to deal with that in just a second, Simply Amazing. Moreover, she is definitely a sister with all of her body language. However, still professional. Come on with that. Something we are not used to in that capacity. Come through. Because I think we're used to seeing more of an almost plastic, robotic kind of, I don't think, I don't blink. I'm a robot. I'm out here regurgitating these answers. And of course, as we saw with the one prior with 45, she just had to flip through the book and try to find an answer and just read the script with absolutely nothing showing that she had any intelligence or intel about what was going on. It was whatever was in the book. We saw her even get ready to flip here, but she did not, and went ahead and answered off the cuff and just left it. So at the end of the day, I want us to kind of look at this from some different points. Baby doll, he calls me. Exactly. That's what I was getting at. Jonna CPW. I got you. So would we have asked it? Jonna CPW. Also, the plight of the black woman in the workplace. Everything is analyzed. Facial expressions, body language, tone, all of that. We don't get a pass on anything. And Go Ratty, we forget how bad 45's press secretary was. She wasn't even a press secretary. I'm not even gonna give her that title because listen, what she did was just reading stuff out the book, and it was just horrible. It was just absolutely positively horrible. Now I'm gonna come out of While We Slumbered, Slept, and Slobbered, because this did happen and it is unfolding even overnight, and the folks, I'm telling you, in the black community are very heated on both sides of the spectrum, even as we see in the chat here. Now let me deal with it from this standpoint, that this is a different scenario as far as why they didn't ask the other press secretary this question. If you don't know, California just held, and so this is a timing thing. California just held hearings for reparations for Californians. So this is recent news. Now, I felt that she looked surprised, and this is just my opinion. I felt that she looked surprised. If you notice, there was a gesture where she started to flip through the script, but obviously there's nothing there because this is hot off the press. This is fresh news. So they would not have asked the former secretary because this just happened. So I'm giving the reporter that. Now, I felt like she looked surprised. I felt like she looked very surprised. And that was the eye roll that a lot of people are looking at. To me, this is my opinion. So she was like, okay. And she's thinking on her feet. And as Jonna said, black women, we are expressive. We're not robotic. We're not going to stand there and that's just not, black women are not, most of us are not built like that. Most of us, not all, but most of us are not built like that. We're going to have facial expressions. We're going to have body language. We're going to all of that in a professional way, as someone said earlier. So I felt like she was taken off guard, and thinking on her feet, I think, was the eye roll and the startled look from the question. That was my takeaway. Now, I'm not refuting anybody that saw and sensed anything else differently. So at the end of the day, this is I want to get to now why it seemed like she was surprised, that part, because why does the president's office often mount that podium and seem like they are clueless about what's happening in the country? Now, that to me is the part that's like, really? And I'm not because of the black woman, not because of analyzing. I felt this way many times with several of the press secretaries that they send out there looking like deer in headlights, like they weren't expecting this to happen. Because at bare minimum, how do you not know that one of your states in the union is actually holding hearings for reparations? I just can't believe that they didn't know that. Maybe they didn't. And if they don't know that, that's a whole nother issue. Why the presidency? There she is, Dr. Dady Priest. She's in the room. Come on in here, Dr. Dady. This is my lady. This is my girl. This is my queen. The queen is here. Dr. Dady Priest and Engagement Matters is in the room. Come on in here, sis, and so much love to you. If you're not following Dr. Dady Priest, you need to get saved. Did you hear the words that came out? You need to get saved if you're not following Dr. Dady Priest. Now, please go out there and follow her because she will bless your whole life. So this is the issue that I have. If the president's office did not know that California has been holding and is holding sessions for reparations for black people and people of color, if they were unaware of that, in my opinion, if you don't know what's going on in your 50 states, Houston, there is a problem. Now, that's my thing. If she was really taken and caught off guard, that's one thing. But then my thing is, if you know that California is holding and hosting sessions for reparations, why would you be surprised? Wouldn't you almost expect if somebody is in the press and they've picked up this story that California is holding hearings for reparations, would you be surprised that somebody asked that question? I'd almost expect it. So I don't know what to make of that. I don't know how to really react to all of this because it leaves me with some real questions. Go Ratty. The real question is now, where does POTUS stand on reparations and what they gonna do? And there you have it. That's where the rubber needs to meet the road. And I feel like she should have, before she came out there, she should have anticipated somebody was gonna ask her that question. Now that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Now I know we like to play dumb and I'm saying that not just her. I'm talking about that position right there because we've seen that position taken over and over with the press secretaries that come out, and when they don't want to talk about something, they act like they're shocked, stunned, and amazed and start clutching pearls. When it's like, how can you be in the highest office of the country and be unaware of what's going on in your own country? I know you get intel before we do. So that part right there, I was a little confused as to the messaging because I have to feel like surely the White House knows that California is holding hearings on reparations, and they should have anticipated somebody was going to ask that question, in my opinion. So at this point, the rubber needs to meet the road. What is Joe going to say about the idea of reparations? They probably are. They have a lot of information to deal with on a daily basis. 50 states, 5 with mass shootings going on, and 45 with their own set of issues that the press secretary must respond to at the drop of a dime. I agree with that. Reparations, however, is a huge issue. So, I agree with everything you said, John, but reparations is a huge issue for people that care about it. That's what I'm going to say. For people that care about it, reparations is a huge issue. That shows lack of communication between the state and I don't believe that the White House did not know that California is holding reparations meeting. I don't believe that. I just don't. I don't believe that they did not know that. I believe that they are aware and were like, if you don't say nothing till they say something. Now that's my sense of the feeling. You don't say nothing until they say something to you. Otherwise, guys play dumb. Now, that's my personal opinion. And listen, it doesn't have to be right, but that's my personal opinion. I hope they're going to clean this up, Go Ratty. I hope that they're going to clean this up. It's a huge issue to us. But again, John, then that is where the rubber meets the road. Is it only us that it's a huge issue to? Should it not be a huge issue to this country that has utilized and abused black bodies for centuries now and continue to brutalize black bodies? Shouldn't it be a huge issue for this country too? So, I'm a roll with that right there and let that hang out there in the wind, and y'all can say what you want to say. We had an election in Ontario last night. A record 5 black women won. Come through Ontario. Thank you, Go Ratty. Thank you for that. Come on, Teresa. CARE in all caps. Scream it. Bold. Italicized. Highlight it. They need to care. CARE. They need to care about that. So this is something that, come on with that black girl magic. This is something that I'm like, no, we're not going to let that go. So, and look at Canada up here cutting up. Thank you, Go Ratty, for that connection and for that information. I love it. Where is Joe on the reparations? And where is the whole White House on reparations? Baby doll, I see y'all applauding what's happening up there in Canada. We just need more of that black girl magic happening down here in these here United States. If you owe me money, it's a bigger issue to me than it is to you, especially if you don't want to pay me back. I hear you, John. I hear you. But for a presidency that just met with the Asian community last week, and for a presidency that and a legislator that gave at the end of the day, we look at them giving legislation on anti-Asian hate crimes. Now I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Now I have to talk truth up in here. You didn't have any trouble coming out with the anti-Asian hate crime legislation a few weeks after the Asian community caused tragedies by the shooter that went and shot up the people, and as it should have done. But black folk been in line for the last how long, and y'all just keep overlooking. Black folks started this line. No, let me give it to the Native Americans. They started the line. But the black community is the one community throughout that has never, ever, ever been compensated for the tragedy, for the abuse, for the misuse. And we just keep getting overlooked and being told, wait, it's going to happen after a while. So probably in the same place he is on student loan forgiveness. And a lot of people had a conversation about that, Dr. Dady, because they were saying really student loan forgiveness highly impacts black people, because we're the ones that if and when we decide to go to college, we don't get grants. We don't get all the other stuff that people have. We don't have money laid up by our parents. We're going to have those student loans. And he's tiptoeing around on the student loan forgiveness because it's going to impact a lot of black people. And it seems like at the end of the day, the message that we constantly get and are sent in this country is, listen, if you're black, get back. They were saying all of that back in the 50s, but it's still the same. It's always a black get back and everything else takes precedence. So you respect my opinion based on the California talks. It's a fact that government takes its lead from the large states. Thus, they are more than likely aware that California is talking faux show. Woman unsilenced. Don't come out here and play this. But I understand a lot of what we see from our government is theater. It's theatrics. I don't believe that she didn't know potentially somebody's going to eventually ask this question and I'm going to need to respond to it. So then we got to put on the theatrics like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, is that? And then give an answer that was no answer. Listen, and I understand she did her job. At the end of the day, y'all, I'm going to give her the love that she's due. She did her job. Look surprised. Act surprise, don't answer the question with an answer. That's what she did. She did her job. If we can send billions overseas, surely we can afford reparations. And that's the argument that people are saying. So at the end of the day, look, it's never an issue till it affects them. They only support infrastructure when their states are being hit with the climate change. Black folks been smoking weed forever, but it's only become an issue when they started lacing it with fentanyl and their kids started dying. And not even that, black folks were selling weed on the corners and they figured out a way to get black folk put in jail on possession of marijuana and attempt to distribute. And now they coming back with a legal way to distribute it from dispensaries that predominantly only white folk can sell it. What are we doing? Y'all ain't ready for me. The reality is they still see us the same way they've always seen and don't act unless they have to. Come on. Like Nina Simone saying, go slow, shaking my head. And so this is what I'm talking about. We got to really understand black people don't lobby properly. And this is where I'm saying, come on with that, Go Ratty. We've got to unite. We've got to come from a different angle. Black people are still considered 3/5 of a person. We should not expect the oppressor to start respecting the oppressed. And I agree with you on that, John. That's why we talking boss energy. DJ Leo the Great is in here. Come on with them high fives. He is a streamer. Y'all go out there and follow him. If you're not following him, he will bless your whole life. And still being targeted and abused by white supremacists. Prisons, drugs, poverty, but y'all passing out checks to everybody else and giving legislation to everybody else. But we can't get an anti-lynching law passed that we've been having in since the 50s. We still can't get it passed. You can agree with that. Several years ago, you used to lobby on behalf of your educator admin colleagues. It was a learning curve and eye-opening at the same time to find out how the deals are made. And come on with that, Dr. Dady. We probably need some of that information on knowing how the deals are made, because we need to get this boss energy for people of color and saying, no, absolutely not. Listen, we're sick of this. And the answer is every weed company in Canada has 0 black people in management and leadership. And I'm not surprised. All we did was put a whole bunch of black people in jail for distributing marijuana, figure out how to hand the business over to white people, and then legalize it and let white folks sell the same thing black folks were selling on the street. And black folks are still sitting in prison and jails while white folks are selling it legally. I want y'all to wake up and smell the coffee. You're in Yes You O Cubed, one-on-one, just me and you. And you know how we do it in here. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black, because I tells it like it T-I-Z-Tis. Almost none of these dispensaries have black people in them, period. It's white owned, white operated, white folk making money, while we still have black and brown bodies sitting in prison for distributing the same thing that they're now selling legally. Y'all better wake up. So here we go. Y'all like some Nina. Come on. Listen. So at the end of the day, these are things that I want us to pay attention. I want us to pay attention. I ain't even going to talk about Joe Manchin, Go Ratty, because that man that raises my blood pressure. All I got to do is see his name. I see his face, see anything. It just takes me out. It just takes me out. I just can't. I can't let myself get caught up with Joe right now. And we've been in line a long, long time. No, you shall. Come on. I'm going to give that to you.
You shall not pass!
Now, while many of the black, and you can go out there, I have it in my Discord for anybody that wants to see it, but many of the black people are crying out, and they are extremely upset about the response. They're extremely upset about her and her performance on this issue and topic, because it relates to black people. And understand, she speaks for the presidency. She's not speaking for herself. They put in the dispensaries in the black neighborhoods, and all day long, baby doll, he calls me, all day long. At the end of the day, the prison industrial complex is the new slavery. The plan is working how they set it up. Come on. Now, this one, out of all of the responses, because some of the responses were really, really mean, hurtful, and ugly, I thought. But I did think that this person, and this is under that same article, if you want to read it, under that same article, the way she fluttered her eyes at the sheer word of reparations, like it came out the clear blue sky. Sadness comes to mind how generationally we are owed nothing, yet others live off or have had full lives off of the very people that they use, that they deprived of education, unequally housed, refused home purchases, destroyed anything we built, and yet other countries are given more. You want to stay in the present. Okay, the USA is in a housing affordability turmoil, employment turmoil, insurance turmoil, tax turmoil, Medicare turmoil, yet we hear nothing of getting Americans back on their feet. And she had a few cuss words there at the end. So I thought this was an excellent response. Not so much tearing down this black woman doing her job, because I feel like she did her job. But the issue, and so we want to see, what is Joe going to say? What is Joe going to respond? And I'm going to read this one more time, because I thought her response was just very eloquently put and very apropos. The way she fluttered her eyes at the sheer word of reparations, like it came out the clear blue sky. Sadness comes to mind how generationally we are owed nothing, yet others live off or have had full lives off of the very people that they deprived of education, unequally housed, refused home purchases, destroyed anything we built, and yet other countries are given more. You want to stay in the present? Okay, the USA is in a housing affordability turmoil, employment turmoil, insurance turmoil, tax turmoil, Medicare turmoil, yet we hear nothing of getting Americans back on their feet. This is to put it out there, and I thought she did a very eloquent job of stating the facts, regardless of whether or not we're going to have an issue about the eye roll or whatever. She laid that baby out, and at the end of the day, and come on, Teresa, a Republican and Democratic clothing. And I think the two-party system, I'm sick of the two-party system personally, but the two-party system definitely needs to address how folks can flip-flop and still be whatever they are and go by another name, because a rose by any other name is still a rose. So Joe Manchin is by any other name, him and Seneca both, they ain't nothing but Republicans in Democratic clothing. So I'm not even going to have that conversation. Black people being upset, fine, but what we going to do about it? And there you go. What are we going to do about it? And that's what we're going to talk about, because I've actually run out of time, because I don't want us to miss getting in bangos, anti-morning bangos with Rebel this morning. But this is what we're going to deal with next week, because listen, this is exactly where I was going, Go Ratty, and I'm going to take my time, because at the end of the day, they're not just talking about reparations in California. They came, baby, they came with answers. They came with, and I'm going to just show this, baby, they lined up for this. And this is the way we need to do it. They lined up for this. This is California and the reparations. They all the way out that back door, y'all. They all the way out the back door. And that's the way I want to see us come and start doing this thing. I want it where we lined up all the way out the back door and just keep talking till we get it done. Now, it's not just that, y'all. And this is what we're going to pick it apart. So anybody that's interested, I invite you to come next week, because listen, not only did they actually spend time in coming and showing up, I want us to look at the fact they came with answers. They came with answers. And I want to go over this, because listen, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all, listen, I want to give it up for California, because California ain't playing. California is not playing. California, here I come, right back where I started from. California ain't playing. So this is what we're going to pick this apart and just read through it and go over it, because listen, they didn't just come and, even as you say, Go Ratty, what are we going to do about it? Bam. They said, don't play. What are we going to do about it? Bam. And listen, I mean, babies, they broke this thing down. These are the preliminary recommendations for future deliberation that they came presented to California. And baby, when I tell you they went through and listen, what time is it? Can I even read? No, yeah, I can get the first one out. Because at the end of the day, they first came, their first issue that they tackled, and we'll come back to this. I'm just going to read. If I can blaze through them real fast, I think I can. So the first one, they said, deleting language from the California Constitution that permits involuntary servitude as punishment for crime by passing ACA 3. Come on. Repealing the Penal Code 2700, which states that the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation shall require of every able-bodied prisoner imprisoned in any state prison as many hours of faithful labor in each day and every day during his or her term of imprisonment as shall be prescribed by the rules and regulations of the Director of Correction. Pass legislation that makes education, substance uses, and mental health treatment and rehabilitative programs the first priority for incarcerated people. In addition, allow incarcerated people to make decisions regarding how they will spend their time and which programs and jobs they will do while incarcerated. Require that incarcerated people who are working in prison or jail be paid at fair market rate for their labor. Prohibit for-profit prison companies from operating within the system. In other words, companies that control phone calls, emails, and other communications. Require that any goods or services available for purchase by incarcerated people and their families be provided at the same cost as those goods and services outside of prison, and allow people who are incarcerated to continue to exercise their right to vote. Now, that's what they started with. And listen, they run that thing through, and they dealt with that first, if you saw that first category that they used, enslavement, because the system of incarcerating, especially and predominantly black and brown bodies, is nothing but a new form of slavery. And so let's start right there, they said. Now, I've got this document out there. I've looked at it. I've read it. I was pleased, overjoyed, and tickled to death because, listen, it answers that question of what are we going to do about it, as if we don't have a plan. Californians have sat down, talked about it, and they've come up with a plan. I would suggest that probably at bare minimum, we need to circulate this plan that they've come up with. They've called it the preliminary recommendations for future deliberation. I do have it out there in my Discord. The document is out there. You'll have to click on the link to pull it up because it's very long. I would purport that I would suggest that other states look at these preliminary recommendations that have been set forth by Californians for reparations. I think it's a good place to start. I think it's an excellent place to start. And we surely have to deal with the enslavement of our peoples. And I'm going to go back even to the point that I said. The very fact that now you can buy all the weed you want to from white owned and white run dispensaries, and we still have brown and black bodies sitting in prison for distributing that same marijuana. Just marinate on that for a minute. And now, if you're not aware, they've now started experimenting with psychedelic drugs. That stuff that has you out there hallucinating that you could buy on the street. They're now experimenting with that so that they can use that in treatment situations. And I watched a whole documentary on this. And so what we see happening is basically we see all of these street drugs that we got folks sitting in jail, in prison for life sentences. There are people in jail with longer terms in jail than people that took somebody's life and killed them. Does that make sense to you? They got more time for drug dealing than somebody that killed somebody, just took a gun, bam, 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 bam. You're in for 10 years, you're out. I want y'all to look at the disparity and understand, make that make sense. So now we're looking at legalizing that aspect, and you can guarantee the same way the weed dispensaries have now come into the white hands to run it and operate it and to sell it. You can guarantee that these other street drugs that they're now experimenting in mental health, and they're experimenting in it and to use it for medicinal purposes, I can guarantee you they're going to put that back out once more and again, and it's going to be white folks that are running it, white folks that are operating it, and people that are sitting in prison for selling that same drug are still going to be sitting there. I said what I said. Come on, Michelle, you said you have a testing center for case study right here in Kansas City. And I'm telling you, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling y'all what God loves. This is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. So what we're seeing is a way to get their hands into a scenario of selling and dispensing the same thing that street folk were selling before. They've legalized it, took control of it, and they're making that money because they know at the end of the day, people are going to buy that product. I said what I said. Now, I got to get out of here, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk. We're going to talk because you know this is what we do over here. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because I tells it like it T-I-Z, tis in the lion's den. I tell you like it is. I ain't lying to y'all. I'm telling the truth. And if you didn't know this was going on, if you don't know, now you know. And this is not made up. This is not Antifa. This isn't me thinking some kind of conspiracy theory. This is the real deal, y'all. This is the real deal. Come on, Dr. Dady, when we get out of here. Sure did. I know someone who the authorities told they'd make him pay if he didn't include them on how he was able to make so much money selling drugs. He was the top person in the Southeast U.S. and they wanted their cut. And that was never uncommon in the drug dealing business. As a matter of fact, we won't even talk about that with the Popo, because that's a whole nother segment altogether. That could have a whole segment all in and of itself. So you told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. So this is what we're going to do next week. I want us to, now you know, I'm telling you, BTD mom, I don't want y'all to be ignorant. I want y'all to know this is actually going on in our country. And I want you to be fully aware of what's going on. They want to take credit for everything and take it from everybody. And at the end of the day, that money is going to the top. That money is going to the top, to the people that can afford to get it and sell it and now make money off of it. So you got to get to work. I got you. Love you so much. We out of here. We're on our way to Rebels because, listen, she's got anti-morning bangos and we going to show up and show out over there. So much love to everybody that came in here this morning. Come back next week and we're going to explore more about the reparations document that has been presented out in California. If you want to read it before you come back next week, it is in my Discord. Go out there to Spiritual Thought Leader in my Discord. You can find it out there and you can read through it so we can talk intelligibly when we come back next week to talk about what they're setting forth in the state of California. And I tell you what, I bet you if they pass it, everybody, a whole lot of black folk gonna be moving to California. California, here I come. Go west, go west, young man, go west.
Oh, I feel
Well, I feel for my brother and I feel for my sister. This has been another edition of Yes You O Cubed, 101, just me and you. And I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman. And I appreciate you for coming in here and being with me on this fine day. It's a fresh start Friday, y'all. It's a fresh start Friday. Please copy that Raid Train message and follow us on over to the Rebels house. We're going to have some fun over there in anti-morning bangos. Now listen here, while you're here, I want you to know you can follow me because I'm out there. You can, oh, that's the wrong one. You can follow me. I'm out there. I'm in Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, Anchor, Discord, and more. I'm out there. You can follow me. I promise you. Now, looky here. Our mantra, we don't have a spirit of fear. We don't have intimidation. We have power. We have love. We got boss energy and a sound mind. I am all powerful in love. And we're not just doing this to talk about change. I'm trying to make us aware so that we can be the change that we want to see. Because listen, we're going to change this world from the way it is now to the way that we want to see it. I told you before, government follows. They're not the leaders. They're the followers. If we get this boss energy and get this thing going, I promise you we can make a change. And at the end of the day, I don't want you to try to do it all by yourself. You got other lions with you. You got other lions with you in the lion's den. We're in this thing together. This Pride Alliance, Pride. This Pride Alliance is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. Now, I thank everybody that's been with me all this week. I love you so much. I absolutely positively do. And at the end of the day, I appreciate everybody that's in the lion's den. Now, please copy that raid message from the lion's den. We headed over to Rebel's house. Thanks to everybody in the den, not the den of iniquity, the den of activity. Line support came from MCP 812. Thank you for those roaring biddies. I appreciate you, sis. Michelle Browno, the Rebel Inc., and Shelly Thunder. Those are our beautiful moderators in this channel. And today, our new followers, Rella, come on in here. Connie, come on in here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you and welcome you and love you into the lion's den. Now, follow us on this raid train and we're going to have some fun over here with Rebel. And you know how we do it. Every time we meet, before we get out of here. And as Shelly Thunder would say, have an amazing day on purpose. And I want you to have peace for your journey.
For my brother, I miss you, man. Oh, I feel for my brother. You're my brother. I feel for my brother.
Meet us back at noon for Good Grief.
Brother.